Alright, so we're here in Chris's 2003 Boxster S, and we've already filmed a little bit on this car. We've done some walk-around stuff, but we haven't really done a whole lot as far as driving impressions go. And this is a really well set up car just as it is. I mean, you pretty much bought it this way.
Yeah, the suspension is totally stock. It's a car that's well set up from the factory. Just wanted to, previous owner wanted to enhance the sound a little bit and the looks a little bit.
So this has Fab Speed exhaust.
Yep, Fab Speed chip, Fab Speed intake.
Well, it makes all the right Porsche sounds. Anything for brakes?
Nope, stock brakes. You know, it came from the factory with 4-piston Brembos. So it's Porsche's always. I wouldn't say they overdo it on the brakes, but they always come with sufficient brakes. That's a signature flat 6 whale.
Yeah, it just sounds great. It's almost a supercar noise. I mean, it
is very exotic. And the way the engine revs up, it's a very rev-happy engine.
Yeah, it really is. The power band is so linear, it almost doesn't feel like you're going very fast.
Right.
Of course, you're not going to be getting in a huge amount of trouble with this car, but
the limits are very accessible in the street.
Yeah, they are.
You can have a lot of fun with the car without getting too crazy with it.
But it still has a little bit of a slow car fast thing going for it, which is great.
Exactly.
I think that's a little bit. It's a mark of a little bit more of a fun driver's car.
We've done a number of Porsche Club events with it, so when we do the spring tours and the fall tours, it's really fun being the slow car in the group and chasing down the 911s with the slower car.
Yeah, well, that's great. The steering feel on this is just...
Makes you appreciate the old hydraulic racks, absolutely.
It's phenomenal. You can feel every bump, you can feel just how much grip is on the front wheels. I really like the shifter too. These Porsches have really unique feeling shifters. It's almost, it's maybe a little bit like the Focus or the Fiesta ST, where it just kind of slides effortlessly between gears.
I think it's somewhat similar too to a GTI, which you're familiar with a little bit more heft to it.
Yeah, that's true. Heel and toe is just effortless.
It just loves the heel and toe.
Yeah.
You can do it all day long.
And you hear right around 5,500 RPM.
Yep.
It's almost like Porsche VTEC. It just kind of comes on cam and you
Power
get just a little bit more.
Alive
Yeah, a little more power. I told you before I drove this I would want one. It hasn't disappointed.
No, I'm good. Well, hopefully it's a good thing for you.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the car. It's exceeded my expectations, you know.
Well, it's got almost 63,000 miles on it, which I guess isn't terribly high mileage, but it feels awesome. I mean, Porsche's they've been doing things right for a very, very long time, and this is definitely no exception.
They know what's important. The touch points are very good. The steering, the brake feel is fantastic. The brakes are very confidence inspiring. Shifter's good. The power band's good. It's just an enthusiast car.
And like you said, this is about 90% of the driving enjoyment and
of a newer Boxster.
New Boxster, yeah.
But for a fraction of the price. That was my whole intention.
honestly, this has better steering than a new Boxster. So what is that going for?
Yes.
I think maybe the new cars you can push a little bit harder with maybe a little bit more confidence.
But you can feel it's an older chassis. It's not the stiffest platform, so it has its quirks, you know. But it's it doesn't on the street. It doesn't really detract that much from the fun. This is mostly a weekend car. I do have a set of winter tires, a set of Blizzaks for this at home. I drove it one time in like light snow and said, you know what, this is not the right tool for the job. Put it away, and I've never driven it in bad weather since. So,
have you ever done rear-wheel drive in the winter before?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I grew up with rear-wheel drive cars, living in northern Wisconsin, so I'm totally comfortable with it. But once again, I have the S4 in the garage with winter tires, and the thing is just a monster. It's just a blast to drive.
Yeah.
This thing has an open rear differential, and that's really the Achilles heel of this car.
Oh, really?
If
Okay.
it was a Miata or a BRZ with a limited slip rear end and it's skinny tires, I think it would do much better. But with the open differential in the back, it's not at home in the snow. So long term, there's one thing I would change on this car. It would be to put a limited slip on the rear axle.
Okay. You think you'll hold on to it?
I think so. For a couple of years, you know, we'll see what happens. Now that my kids are getting to the age where they don't need to be in rear-facing child seats anymore, maybe a 911 with 4 seats would be a nice upgrade.
It would be a practical upgrade, right?
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Practical in terms of me selling it to the wife.
That's
so.
right. Of course. That's what it's all about, really.
But I love a lot of cars. I'll never have enough time or money to buy all the cars I like. So I love C7 Corvettes. I love 911s. The new Mustang GT 350 is extremely exciting to me. I'd love to have one of those. So
yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Down the road, who knows? I'd like to keep my options open.
Well, that's kind of what it's all about. You know, it's a little bit of the S4 is kind of that's your campfire. That's what you come home to every day. And then you can have some other playthings for the automotive experience.
That's exactly right. I don't think I'll hold on to this as long as the S4. You never know, but the S4 is kind of here to stay, and maybe I'll change up the other cars in the garage.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, you've done really well with this car. It drives super well. It feels awesome. I just I love the highlights of this car for me are the sound and the steering, and that's not necessarily something you can. I don't know if you're going to be able to get the sound out of Porsches in the next 5 years. Like
the 718 is an amazing car on its paper. They've done huge improvements on pretty much everything. But I'll be brutally honest, is I'll miss that flat six sound.
Yeah.
I think the 981 with the flat six engine, I think it's going to be more coveted by enthusiasts in the long run, just because you get that linear power band, you get that sound, and it really is Porsche's signature sound of the last couple decades. I know they've made 4 cylinders in the past, but for me, I think Porsche, I think flat six.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's their signature.
I know it sounds a little cliche, but the sound takes me back to the 3 years I lived in Germany from 2004 to 2007. Just hanging out at the Nürburgring, you'd hear Porsches all day long going down the Dünninger Höhe, the front straight,
yep.
And it was this sound. It was a flat six at 7,000 plus RPM, and to me, it's a warm, comforting feeling.
Makes the hair stand up on your skin, right?
It gives you goosebumps, right? It's awesome.
Never get tired of that noise. I actually really do like this shifter.
Good. Maybe I'm selling it a little bit short.
Yeah, I think,
Okay, not this light, so when we get to the roundabout, we'll take the first exit on the roundabout.
Okay. I drive a lot of manuals, and a lot of new cars have manual transmissions, but they're not good manuals.
Right.
There's no feel, there's just a bunch of slop. It's just.
And that's really the way the industry is going. They're not devoting the R&D money. They're doing a lot of carryover stuff. They're just doing the basics.
Well, they're not selling, so
it
makes sense. But this is a good manual. This is, I think the one of the best manuals that I've driven in recent years from a new
Good.
car was from the new Porsche Boxster, or at least the 99
Yeah,
was
the
the
981 is not the most recent one, but the late model 2013, I think.
Yeah, that's right. It was a
2015.
2013. Yep. And this is, you know, right along that line of just it's a satisfying throw. It's nice.
I think my favorite though all time is S2000. You know.
Oh yeah.
My buddy had an S2000. For me, that was really the benchmark.
It's like a rifle.
Yeah.
it's
The right amount of precision and, you know, snick,
yeah.
quick, bold action.
And it's amazing because Honda puts really good shifters even just in their Accord
just in
sedan.
a Civic, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, you know, this thing, I mean, it rides well, it's comfortable.
It's soft enough to be a daily, right? It's
Yeah, you
not,
can totally daily this.
It's not extreme. I do drive this to work a couple days a week, you know.
You put it in sixth and quiets down.
Yep. Yeah, the exhaust is on the border of what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
But you can drive it easy and it's tolerable.
Oh, it's fine. And you've got, you know,
Open
a
sky.
trillion miles of headroom.
Exactly.
Well, you definitely have a good range of automotive experience in your garage. That's cool.
That's what I was going
Left.
for, you know. Right.
Right?
Yeah. Good breadth of, you know. If I'd upgrade the F-150 to a Raptor and have it
That's
made.
right. Take it off some sweet jumps.
Everything.
I bet this sounds amazing in a tunnel.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. That is a video I want to do someday.
Yeah. So what are Boxsters going for these days? About
If you want a clean 986 with good maintenance history, good cosmetic condition, it's going to vary, but I would say between 15 to 20,000 would be your ballpark range.
man, that's such a good price point.
It's a value, yeah. I
That's
personally
awesome.
think it's an underrated car. You know, Boxster does have a stigma, and until I drove one, I never was a fan. I was never like, okay, I really want a Boxster.
Sure.
But then I drove the car and I started to understand it.
No, I'm the same way. I have the exact same opinion on that. It's
I
great.
still love the 911, even for, you know, the advantages and disadvantages of a rear engine setup. But this car, I've really warmed up to it.
Well, I think, you know, the difference between this and a 911, of course, 911 is going to have a little bit more power. It's going to be a 911 that's going to have rear seats and all of the obvious things.
Yep.
But, you know, I think there's a little bit of a quirkiness to the handling and to the feel of a 911, whereas this is going to be a little bit more balanced.
It's more balanced, more natural.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't know about 911s of this generation, like the 996, but I feel like those are maybe a little bit more raw and more pure driving machines. These days, 911s are kind of...
It's
good.
almost a GT car.
Yeah, it is almost
really
a GT car. Yeah, they're so fast and so capable that really you don't get into their enjoyment factor until you're doing over, you know, 3-digit speeds.
Exactly. No,
And,
for the place in my garage this car fills, I do want a more raw experience. You
Yeah.
know. This one does have stability control, but you can more or less fully turn it off,
Okay.
which is something that's important. I like the manual, the hydraulic steering rack.
But you can enjoy it at regular driving speeds,
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
just it's a blast.
Now be careful. This is a blind corner for people coming.
Yeah.
Then take the corner there. So I always go slow through there, but here you can open it up.
Let's do a little second rear pull here. Yeah, I mean, it has great torque, and it just keeps pulling consistently throughout the revs.
Yeah. Very even. You don't have any bumps or dips in the power band. And then left here.
driving position is spot on. I mean, nobody does driving positions.
The ergonomics are perfect.
Yeah, no one does driver ergonomics like Porsche, really. I mean, the BRZ is close, but it doesn't quite give you the wheel up into the chest and you're down into the, like, you're in this car. You're not on it. You're not, you know, it's a part of you. It's
this
like
wheel doesn't even tilt. It's just in the right spot, right?
It doesn't? Oh, really? Okay.
Telescopes,
cool.
but it's like,
yeah.
Put the wheel in the right spot. It's good.
If it's already there, you don't need it. Well, cool, man. Hey, thanks for letting me drive your cars tonight. This was really enjoyable.
Chris.
Yeah, it's fun.
Glad you could make it.
What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, YouTube, and my username is Chris O or Chris Osberg. My full name, either or.
Just one word, no spaces
No
or
spaces,
dashes or
yep.
anything. Cool. And we'll put a link in the description. Chris has got some good videos. I kind of grew up watching some of his YouTube videos when I first started filming, and he's got some cool stuff, especially with the S4.
It's great to hear you say that, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, I basically started the Winding Road channel, or restarted it, based on an idea that I had in college. And it was just me watching YouTube videos, wasting time, not studying for geology, you know. And I was like, maybe people will like some POV videos of cars with good audio, and they'll be driven, you know, in anger.
I was inspired much of the same way.
Yeah.
In college, wasting time in engineering school, goofing off, you know, mischief videos. That really, way back in the day, it's like, wow, these guys are having fun with their cars. You know, broke college student. I didn't have a car.
You had to download them at that point.
Yeah, you had to download.
There was no YouTube.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And it really sparked my enthusiasm for, you know, being an automotive enthusiast, and led my career. It led my hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it's just a fun thing to do.
That's cool. Alright guys, well that'll wrap up our POV review on this 2003 Boxster S. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.